A killer will be back in Spokane next week to face a judge for his crimes. The twist? He's already been sentenced to life in prison.
Now, because of a Supreme Court ruling, he's getting a second chance. Justin Crenshaw murdered 18-year-old Sarah Clark and 20-year-old Tanner Pell in a North Spokane home in 2008. The brutal crime shocked the community. Now, 17 years after the trial that put him away for life, Crenshaw is about to be back in Spokane with another shot at freedom. Melissa Luck spoke with Sarah's parents in this 4 News Now exclusive.
How do you measure a loss this deep?
She was fun-loving. She was a very fun-loving girl. And in fact, it was like if I'd come home from work, hey, Pops, how you doing?
Sarah Clark has now been gone almost as long as she was here. An 18-year-old frozen in time in her Meade High School yearbook.
There's no more pictures. There's only the pictures that were there. All the things we missed.
For the Clark family, Sarah's story is about much more than how she died. But how she died is why we're here. Because the man who killed her 17 years and 7 months ago is getting something Sarah never will, another chance.
And we have been given a life sentence. There's no way we can get paroled from what we think about losing our daughter.
Justin Crenshaw has killed not once, not twice, but 3 times. First, it was Sarah and Tanner Pell in 2008. A violent attack, prosecutors said, deliberate and especially cruel. Crenshaw stabbed them to death, posed their bodies with swords, then set the house on fire. It was so egregious, a judge sent him to prison for life with no chance of parole. But the world still wasn't safe from Justin Crenshaw. While in prison in Virginia, he strangled his cellmate. Court records say he also stabbed defenders at prisons in Washington and New Mexico.
He has continued to be violent in a controlled environment.
And yet, here we are. Justin Crenshaw now has another shot at freedom because of a Washington State Supreme Court decision from 2021. That's when the court ruled it was unconstitutional for anyone who commits crimes between the ages of 18 and 21 to be sentenced to life without parole, that their youth has to be taken into account. Under this Monchke-Bartholomew decision, anyone already sentenced that way would have to be resentenced and could ultimately be released. Justin Crenshaw was 20 years and 2 months old when he killed Tanner and Sarah. The Supreme Court opinion reads, mandatory life sentence creates an unacceptable risk that youthful defendants without fully developed brains will receive a cruel sentence.
If you're 18 years old, you can legally do a whole lot of things. Get married, go to war, drive a car even before that, or just sign a contract. You can do all sorts of things, but when it comes to murdering somebody, then all of a sudden we're going to look at brain development. And so I don't understand.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, our young grandchild of, 11 years old says, I know it's not right to kill somebody.
Yet the Clarks will have to make sense of it all again next week. Crenshaw will be transported from the state penitentiary in Walla Walla back to a Spokane courtroom, where a judge could lower his sentence or make him eligible for release. Maybe not now, but eventually.
But my kids, the thought of them having to go before a parole board every 10 years for the rest of their lives and relive this again like they're doing right now, our 5 other children, it breaks my heart.
In its pre-sentence report, the Department of Corrections calls Crenshaw a dangerously violent offender with a high risk for reoffending in a violent manner. Crenshaw will get a chance to make the case that he is not. And when he does, the Clarks will be there yet again to try and convey the impact of their loss. A loss that feels different now, all these years later.
When the grandkids say, well, how did Auntie Sarah die? What do I say to that? And at what age do I tell them the truth?
I said at the beginning of this story that how Sarah died is why we're here. That's not really true, is it? It's because of her life, a life for so many still worth fighting for.
How do you wrap up a life? And how do you portray that life to people and try to portray the loss to us, I mean the loss to the world.
I'm Melissa Luck, 4 News Now.